Hello, I'm Tristan. I like to make videos on YouTube about art and photography. Today, I want to do some drawing. I wanted to do some Inktober drawing, so this is what this is. Hope you enjoy. Day number one was crystal. I didn't want to do the classic like quartz crystals or crystal ball or anything, so I did like crystal drinking glasses. This one I have like a little love potion in. I guess it could be anything in there, but I thought that could be a little different than the first thing that you would think of. I did that with a lot of these things. I tried to do something that wouldn't be the first thing you think of, but some of them have more effort than others. For these, I just used microns, and I also tried to add a wash. I couldn't find my India ink, so for a lot of these I just tried to add water to see if I could smear the ink from a G2, which kind of worked for some of them to make it look nice. The second one, for suit, I thought of a suit of cards. So this is the Queen of Hearts. She's holding a anatomical heart in her hands with a little knife behind her back. Some of these are spooky themed, like dark themes, and other ones not so much. I just kind of did whatever I thought would be a good fit for each day's theme. But this one was pretty fun and fast and simple. Number 3, a vessel. So I looked up the definition of a vessel, and it was a large ship or a large boat, or the second definition was a hollow container especially used to hold liquid. And I thought, you know what is a great vessel that I use regularly? My menstrual cup. I don't remember the exact brand. I don't think it was a Diva cup, but I still call it a Diva cup. Kind of like Kleenex and tissues, but yeah, I think it's a great thing and something that shouldn't be weird to talk about because bodies be doing what bodies do. So I thought it would be nice to like kind of pay a little tribute to it, I guess, and just make it a pretty little picture. So I also just used a ink wash using the G2 itself in this one. Number 4, the word is knot. I thought of like when you get a knot in your stomach when you're nervous or anxious, so I made a little figure. I like to make figures that look sickly. It's almost like a external vision of how I feel inside sometimes. And like I said, I couldn't find my India ink, so I decided the next best thing to actually using ink would be to use watercolors because you can get a similar effect. So I just used the black ink the black watercolor from my watercolor palette, and I think it added a nice effect. So then I end up using that for the rest of the days as well, so you'll see that coming up. Day number 5, raven. It's another one that I looked up the definition of because I didn't just want to draw a bird, and one of the definitions was a glossy black color, especially to describe hair, and hair made me think of Cousin It because he is all hair. So this is Cousin Raven or Aunt Raven. She is a witch and she has beautiful glossy black hair. And I wouldn't say I am great at drawing hair, so this was an experiment. I thought it was going great looking back at it now, and then once I covered everything up, it wasn't going great. So I just kept working at it, and eventually I just had to call it quits. But I still think it turned out nice, and it's a fun image, so I'm still proud of it. Alright, and then we have Spirit. This one was fun, and it was interesting because the day after I did this, I saw Drawing with Waffles video, and she did all these cheerleaders, like monster cheerleaders, and she did a skeleton cheerleader, and I was like, oh my goodness, now it's gonna look like I'm copying her. And I just thought that was kind of crazy that they were very similar. I was influenced with her for this piece though, because a lot of the times she puts circles around her images as backgrounds, and I felt like there wasn't enough contrast in this one, so I added a black circle in the background, which was kind of inspired by what she would do. Oh, and the light died before I finished, but I figured I would just keep recording until it was done, and then for the next day I would have the light charged. Number 7, Fan. This one was probably my favorite out of these. She is the number 1 fan, you know, Annie Wilkes from Misery. Who else would you pick as a number 1 fan? And this image is, I think, kind of iconic, so I was excited to do it, and I went right in with watercolors and skipped over the micron because I thought I would get a better result that way, and I think that was a good call. I'm really excited with how this turned out. Something about Misery. I've seen the movie, but I really would like to read the book. I've been really looking forward to reading more of Stephen King's books. I read The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon. That was the first Stephen King I ever read, and then I read Carrie this past week, which was alright, not the best, but I have a feeling his other books would be really good, and I know that Noelle Gallagher loves Misery and highly recommends it, and I love her channel, so I will be giving Misery a check out of the library ASAP. I might actually buy it because I'm pretty stoked about it, and if she likes it that much, I would hope I would like it that much. If you have any recommendations, let me know. Day 8. This guy is watching you through his binoculars. He's looking at you. I thought that he kind of looked like Rango when I finished it, but also this one, my phone decided it didn't want to record the whole thing, so as you'll see soon, the camera dies and you don't get to see like any of the process. At least you got to see the inking, but then the camera dies. There is what it turned out to look like, which is fun. And then the prompt word pressure. We just have a hand squishing an eyeball. I used my own hand for reference, and then I guessed on how a squished eyeball would look because I don't actually know. I don't think I've ever seen a squished eyeball, but it was still fun. I made like a goofy comic book background type thing with an action bubble and the word squish. So this was a fun one. Pretty simple. Day 10, pick. This is another type of figure I like to draw. It's just like slightly awkward. Well, I guess this one's very awkward, but I like it. Speaking of awkward, I made the hands wrong, and I am aware of that, but it is what it is, and I figured it didn't even matter that much because the whole figure is kind of strange. But he's picking at his mouth and his teeth. He's got a little toothpick there. But I guess I could plug my website right now. I opened a big cartel because Etsy fees were not for me. So now I have a big cartel if you'd like to check it out. The link will be in the description. Sour. We got a little sour lemon guy. He's sour because he's a lemon, but also because he's upset. I don't know why he's upset. Maybe because someone told him he wasn't good enough to make into lemonade. That's the reason. I think lemonade is like one of the greatest drinks of all time, and it shouldn't be seen as just a summery drink. It's a perfect drink. Lemonade, can't go wrong. Any flavors, very delicious. Day 12, stuck. We got a little bug stuck in a spider web. I thought it would be fun to try to do like a negative space drawing. So instead of drawing the spider web, I colored in the negative space around it to leave the white of the paper as the spider web. And I think it turned out really great because, I don't know, it looks nice. And I think it's cool that the background doesn't match up perfectly in each of the spots. It adds some character. It was really fun to make though. Kind of therapeutic to fill in the repetitive spots. I also remember while doing this, I was watching Workaholics in the background, so watching this back is just making me think of Workaholics, which is a great show. I like this one a lot. And I like this little bug guy, even though it's kind of hard to see in this, but I think the spider web is the more important part anyways. Ooh, 13 is roof, and I had to do more books because your girl is obsessed with reading. This year I've already surpassed my reading goal by a lot. I wanted to read 8 books in 2021, and as of October, whatever day it is, I have read 26 books. Heck yeah. And looking forward to reading more. In November, I'm going to be participating in Allie V and Kirst Reed's readathon, the Bloomin' Readathon. If you like reading, you should check that out. I'm pretty stoked for that. But yeah, this little person is reading a book, and they're like in a house of book. They feel home when they're in a book, and then all the things that come out of their brain as they're reading. With this prompt tick, I thought, first thing, maybe I can make a bug. But I was like, I don't want to make an ugly bug. I looked up a reference picture for a tick, and they're really disgusting, and I did not want to spend time focusing on that. So I thought the other thing a tick could be is like, you know, a tick mark and a tally. So someone was locked in this room, and they made tallies on the wall to see how long they were there. And they got a knife with, you know, questionable stuff on it. I don't know what it is. I guess you'll just have to figure it out yourself. And then finally for this video, this is the last one. The prompt was helmet, but I did not want to draw a bicycle helmet or a motorcycle helmet. That felt boring. So I just said the word helmet a lot, and then it sounded like Hamlet. And Hamlet holds a skull when he's like, to be or not to be. A skull is kind of like a helmet for your brain. Everyone's got one, but it's kind of like a helmet. So this is what direction I went in for this one. This is another one I ended up spending more time on than I expected. I skipped the micron inking and just went in with the watercolors. And I think I'm really proud of the hand. You know, I'm just gonna toot my own horn right now. But that's all for this video. I'd like if you would let me know what was your favorite. I will be posting a part 2 shortly for the rest of the month's drawings, so come back to check that out. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Later, skater. Bye-bye.